The Saudi Pro League is better than MLS. One of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo came out and said the Saudi Pro League is better than MLS. Is he right? Is he wrong? Obviously, I'm a big MLS fan, as many of you watching might be as well, but is there some truth to what Ronaldo is saying? Let's find out. Last year, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo leave Manchester United in a shock transfer to Al-Nassr in the Saudi Pro League, where he signed a 2.5-year contract. This turned a lot of heads in the world of football. Why would Ronaldo go to Saudi Arabia?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dollar, dollar.
For the past year, we've seen other great players go to the Saudi Pro League like Karim Benzema, N'Golo Kante, Roberto Firmino, Kalidou Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy, Ruben Neves, and many more have followed in Cristiano Ronaldo's footsteps. These aren't just two old passive players, but some of these players that we've seen join are top players around Europe. Benzema just won the Ballon d'Or last year and is still arguably one of the best strikers in the world, and we've seen him go to Saudi Arabia. But does making these big name signings make this league better than MLS? Yes and no. On paper, if we look at the best Saudi Pro League 11 player for player against the best MLS 11 on paper, the Saudi Pro League team will look significantly better. But that doesn't exactly translate to the league's success. We have seen MLS bring in big name superstars like David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Wayne Rooney, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Kaká, Gareth Bale, and many more, which recently includes the other GOAT, Lionel Messi. When MLS has brought in these big name superstars, it hasn't exactly always translated into growth and success for the league. In the short term, it does help draw more attentions to matches and bring more butts into the seats. But the key here is you want to build sustainability. We saw a few years back, the Chinese Super League did something similar to what the Saudi Pro League is doing now, bringing in big name superstars like Carlos Tevez, Oscar, Hulk, Paulinho, Stefan El Shaarawy, and many more, but of course that wasn't sustainable. Thus, we saw what it did to that league. I don't think this will happen with the Saudi Pro League, but this is just an example. It's a good way to jumpstart the fandom of the league, but it doesn't necessarily make it better. Maybe this is something MLS should do in having a Saudi Pro League All-Star team against the MLS All-Star team, while Messi and Ronaldo are playing in both leagues, to give them one last final match between the two of them. This is just your friendly neighborhood Persian boy giving you an idea, Don Garber. But maybe we should steer away from looking at it from player to player, but instead look at it from the teams within the leagues. When you look at the club values of the teams in the Saudi Pro League, the highest value team is Al-Hilal at about 140 million euros. Then there's Cristiano Ronaldo's Al-Nassr at about 89 million euros. Then there's Ittihad Club at about 77 million euros. But when you compare Al-Hilal, who's the highest value team, to Al-Rai, who's the lowest value team at about 1.8 million euros, there's about a 139 million euro difference. This can be an indicator of a drop off from the teams at the top compared to the bottom, which can cause less parity within the league. Where we have seen since 2013-14, the only league title winners within the Saudi Pro League have been Al-Nassr, Al-Ahli, Al-Hilal, and Ittihad Club. There's only been 4 different winners in this league for the past 10 years. But when compared to MLS, we now have Inter Miami as the highest value team at about 80 million euros, but the bottom team, St. Louis City, is about 29 million euros, which funnily enough, St. Louis City SC is the top team of the Western Conference, while Inter Miami is the bottom team of the Eastern Conference. And there is about a 40 million euro difference between the two teams in club value. Since there is only 18 clubs in the Saudi Pro League compared to MLS's 29, when you look at the team in 18th place, which is Nashville City SC, their club value is about 39 million euros, which is only about a 40 million difference from the top, which is Inter Miami. There's a lot more of a closer gap between the teams in MLS compared to the Saudi Pro League. I will say, if Al-Hilal, Al-Nassr, Ittihad Club, or Al-Ahli were put into MLS at this moment, they would be way better and probably dominate the league, which was shown in the recent 2023 FIFA Club World Cup, where there was a representative from the Saudi Pro League and MLS, where Al-Hilal made it all the way to the final, defeating Brazilian giants Flamengos along the way, while the Seattle Sounders lost in their first round to Egyptian side Al-Ahli. So if you look at it in a continental tournament aspect, the Saudi Pro League did have a representative that did a lot better compared to MLS. Compared to the competitiveness and parity, there is a tighter gap within MLS, which I do think helps the growth of the league in the long term. I know club value isn't the end-all be-all indicator, but it helps us be able to gauge a bit of a comparison for the gap between teams in both leagues. Now that we've looked at all over However, where do I stand? Is Ronaldo right? I personally don't think so, but it depends on what you quantify as a good league. Does the league need to have big name superstars playing it? Does the league need to develop top players? Or there needs to be teams within the league who consistently win continental titles? There's so many ways to look at it. MLS does have its issues of not having promotion relegation, which would help the league tremendously in my opinion, which is something the Saudi Pro League does have. As well, MLS has a very tight salary cap, which of course doesn't apply to the Saudi Pro League. For me, what makes MLS better than the Saudi Pro League right now is the league has shown it is sustainable and is growing to becoming a great league, which is more important in my opinion. The here and now, on paper, the Saudi Pro League does have better players, but that only helps in the short term. That league would need to build on its infrastructure from facilities for all teams, development, and stadiums. Not to say there isn't good infrastructure or stadiums in Saudi Arabia with certain teams, but I'm saying from top to bottom. MLS has done that for the most part as it's a part of the league's regulations, and the league has some of the best facilities and stadiums around the world. MLS has that healthy mix of big name stars with young developing stars within the league that the Saudi Pro League just doesn't have yet. When I look at the long-term plan, that healthy ecosystem, MLS has something special building which we have seen over the past couple of years. What the Saudi Pro League is doing is amazing for the sport for Saudi Arabia. Bringing in top players and coaches to make football more prominent in the country is key to building the sport. We've seen Saudi Arabia has become one of the top teams in Asia and has a national team that can compete on the world stage, as shown in their amazing performance against Argentina at the World Cup, being the only nation to defeat them in their World Cup winning campaign. For me, it's too early in the project to know if the Saudi Pro League is better than MLS. So until we see what happens in the next couple of years from that league, overall I do think MLS is better. But I will say this could be the beginning of something great from them to becoming one of the top leagues in the world. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think the Saudi Pro League is better than MLS? Do you agree with Cristiano Ronaldo? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to smash the like button on today's video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I hope you'll have a lovely day.